In this video, I want to go ahead and talk about shading. Sometimes you might want to shade something. You might want to get that 100% in the class and shade a certain section. So how do we do the shading? If you remember graphing inequalities, like basic linear inequalities, like y is greater than or equal to 2x plus 3, this represents all the numbers that are greater than this line. So they shade to represent all those numbers. So that's basically kind of how we're going to end up shading. So for shading between things, that's really the difficulty. So let's just start with something like y is greater than or equal to, let's put something like a flat line like 0.5x minus 2. So this gives us everything above, but let's just say you don't want everything above this, you want everything between two objects. So what you're going to do, and speaking of which, before we do that, we could also do a domain restriction on this. 2 is less than or equal to x, less than or equal to 3. And it'll do the domain restriction as well in there. So what we're going to do, though, is let's just say we want it to be between two graphs. Let me get rid of the inequality for now and just put an equal sign. By the way, if it's just greater than, it's going to be a dashed line. And if you do less than, it's shades below. So just so you know about that. So let's say we have a line y equals 0.5x plus 2. And they don't have to be parallel, but here I have it parallel. So what's going to happen here is if we want to shade between the two, what you're going to do is, let's rewrite this. We're going to rewrite this as, let's put the bottom function on the left. So the bottom function is the 0.5x minus 2. So 0.5x minus 2, where it says less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 0.5x plus 2. So what you have there is we're saying that I want to shade y is all the values that are below this graph, because less than that graph, but above this one because it's greater than that. So it's giving us all the values that are in between. And of course, you can restrict the domain on that, just like we saw earlier, -1 to, let's just say, 3. And there's your domain restriction. You can have that. You can copy and paste this a bunch of times if you want it to shade a darker red, that just keep, or more solid red, and just keep copying and pasting that. You can get other colors if you overlap it with different colors and things like that. You can also shade inside of a circle, x squared plus y squared, and you would put less than or equal to 1. Shades inside the circle. If you do greater than or equal to 1, that's everything outside the circle because that's all the values that are greater than that radius. So anyways, that's an introduction to shading. You saw in a previous video that I did, you might have seen that I did y is less than or equal to sine of x. You know, there's a bunch of different things you can do. You know, do a bunch of these and you basically have your waves. So anyways, if you're planning to do some shading, it's not that difficult. You know, just play around with it. It is kind of time consuming though, but it should hopefully make some sense there.